What is up, everybody? Welcome to AK Plays. I'm AK. Let's play. Banshee OP. Deadeye OP. Lone Star OP. Everything is OP, and we need to nerf it all!
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Alright, everybody, so the intro there is kind of my way of making fun of all the people that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And basically, what I'm going to be talking about in this video is just kind of what's going on with the game. I had a comment, I believe it was yesterday, and I believe that the user deleted it after they commented it, so I kind of blurred their name. If you do want credit, I can definitely put you in the comments. But basically, he wants me to take a look at the culture, the toxicity, and kind of as it refers to content creators. Now, I am definitely not brazen enough to go attack a bunch of content creators. I'm not trying to get into drama like that, but I will definitely talk about, and in a general way, what I'm seeing, why things are happening, and just kind of the culture as it is today, as it relates to players in the Dark Zone, and I guess even content creators. Now, I'll talk about content creators towards the end, but players we're going to tackle first. Now, the reason for the intro with the obviously not OP builds that I was kind of memeing is people will call everything OP. Now, in the comment there, it referenced how he doesn't like that people are being toxic towards basically every build. And I feel that. I'm sure all of you do. No matter what build you're using, someone is willing to talk trash about it and be extremely toxic and negative no matter what you do. And most people, I think, are getting to the point of just kind of accepting that, but and I have gotten to the point where I just kind of laugh it off, because I have had so many different builds that I've ran that people have called OP, broken, toxic, dumb, like all these stupid things that people say. Obviously, I'm toning down my language. They're going to probably say much worse things about it, but I have had every build that I've used called OP. I've even had Reclaimer called OP. Not because of the box. I had someone say that I was using a Cronus Pulse. That was back in the old days, but still, that doesn't even exist. Now, I've had people called Deadeye OP because in some respects it can be. I've had Banshee called OP because in some respects it can be. Same with Lone Star. I had Alpha Bridge called OP the other day. It is literally every build can be talked trash about. And that's because every build is a little bit OP in its own right. Every gear set is supposed to fill a role, and in that role, that build is supposed to be better than every other build. That's right, correct? Now, when you do that, every build can be OP in its own scenario. At long range, against everything, Deadeye is going to be OP because nothing is built to take on snipers other than snipers. Now, at close range, SMGs are going to be way better. And at mid-range, ARs are going to be better. Now, people that don't, I think everyone kind of comprehends that when I say it, but in the moment, people freak out. Like, you don't know how many people I've heard say the house is OP. Yeah, it's an SMG, guys. It's going to be OP at close range when you're using an AR. Now, at mid-range, if you're a house user, I bet you think the lightweight M4 is OP because you're out of optimal range. Guys, these are basic things, but people are going to be toxic and angry about it because they need something to complain about. Nobody, and by the way, guys, I know how unpopular these opinions are, and I'm going to get a lot of mean comments, but I'm ready for it. So, to continue, people are just looking for something to be angry about, something to blame. And I know that that's kind of more psychological than I think people wanted me to get in this kind of video, but people just look for something to blame. And usually it's going to be the closest thing and whatever they can think of first. And that's why sometimes you'll shut somebody down by saying, that's not what I'm running, or I didn't have that. And they'll get all quiet for a second, and then they'll start screaming at you. People are just looking for the closest first thing they can say that went wrong and why they lost. People have a lot of pride in this game, and they get real touchy if it gets stepped on. So, unfortunately, that's why people are toxic, in my opinion. Yes, of course, there are people that are just horrible people, and they just want to see the world burn, and those people are going to be toxic for literally no reason. And I should probably define toxic a little bit. Now, I don't mean that you have to be angelic superhumans that go give people hugs in the dark zone. And I don't mean that you can't get mad. You can show emotion, you can get angry, you can talk some trash back to people. You can even emote back after they've emoted on you. But I don't think you should start it. And I don't know, I mean, I know that people like to sometimes, and some people do have toxic personalities and they're just evil people. But I mean, when I think toxic, I think just emoting when you 4v1 somebody or doing something like that. That's toxic. And I don't get it. But but back onto builds. Yes, there are builds that people really hate. The builds that I've named are pretty neutral, and I did that on purpose. I don't want to go right into the controversial builds. The controversial builds, obviously, right now are Nomad, Pred, and D3. Now, my feelings on these builds are pretty irrelevant, honestly. It just matters that they're in the game and they haven't been changed yet. And to sit here and complain about builds really doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like the developers are going to come watch every single video that every person puts out and say, oh, this person wants this changed, let me hop right on that. No, they're pretty busy. They have a whole new game to develop, Division 2, and if they're going to make changes to this game, they're probably going to be small, if they change anything at all. I don't think they're going to be making huge changes, and if they are, it's not going to be from a video I put out. Do I think these builds are a little bit broken? I think that there's one issue with Nomad, but other than that, I'm not really that mad about those builds. Pred has counters, D3 is fitting its role. I mean, it hits a little bit too hard, but I don't think that that's a big issue at all. I think the only issue is with Nomad, and it's not anything that a lot of people complain about. I just don't like that it breaks the game in the way that it lets people rush up uncontrollably because they have an extra life, and they know that that life is there to fall back on. And that's just kind of, it doesn't fit the role concept that every other build is trying to achieve. And I don't think that there's really any easy way to fix that, and so why would I complain about it? If I can't give a good answer and I can't give them a solution, there's no point in me complaining about it, and I think that there's a lot more complaining in this world than giving solutions, so if you don't have a solution, why complain? And I try to stay positive, and that's very negative, and that's kind of on to the next part, which is the negativity. Now, guys, a lot of content creators are very negative right now, and that's nothing against them. I'm not saying that they're doing this on purpose and they are just they're making their choice and being negative, horrible, toxic people. And all the people that are quitting the game, none of them are, I'm not saying that all of them are doing this for a toxic reason. A lot of them are probably just wanting to move on. I mean, this game is a few years old, guys, and Division 2 is coming out in a few months. Now, but the reason that some content creators are negative and toxic, in my opinion, is because this patch really did narrow the skill gap. You used to have a huge skill gap where a great player could go and take on 10, 20 people and do really well. I mean, look at some of those older videos by like Concealed Gamer and Wids. Those guys were unbelievable, and they would just tear people up. But now that the skill gap is so narrow, the stamina is so high, and the time to kill is so long, people really can't go on those crazy manhunts that they used to, and so content creators and really good players are feeling that, and it's not as enjoyable for them. And so that's why they're trying to move on. But a lot of content creators, this is a little deeper than I think you guys want me to dive, but a lot of content creators can't really switch games like just good players who are tired of the game can, because they want to post videos, and unfortunately the Division community really likes Division videos and nothing else. So they can't really post other games and see the success that they can with Division videos, so they're kind of forced to put out more Division content even though they don't want to. And that's unfortunate, and it kind of leads to them being pretty negative. But I think it'll amend itself in Division 2 when people get more positive and excited about a new game. But that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it kind of explains the situations that are going on right now. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will catch you tomorrow.
When you try your best but you don't succeed.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No.
only blind, but had become rather retarded as well. Joe stated his case logically and passionately, but his perceived effeminate voice only drew big gales of stupid laughter.
Please listen. Please listen. Shut up! Nah. Prosecutor, why you think you done it?
Okay, number one, Your Honor. Just look at him.
He talks like a fag, too.